Համազգային հայ գրթական եւ մշակութային միութեան Գլաձոր մասնաճիւղի գրադարան գրադարածը ներկայացուց լրագրող Ժիրայր Թիւթիւնճեանի Armenian Greats known and unknown հատորը Կիրակի Սեպտեմբեր 29-ին Համազգայինի Յ Մանուկեան գրադարանի մեջ Գիրքը ներկայացուց գանատահայ գրող Keith Ղարիպեան Ձեզի ներկայացնենք մասեր սոյն նախաձեռնութենէն
In recent years, Mr. Tutunjian published articles about politics in several American electronic magazines. In addition to his numerous published articles, he wrote Hill of Bones, Convent of Cypresses, about his trip in 2000 to Gilzaur and to northeastern Syria, where his father had lived as a Bedouin for 10 years following the Armenian genocide. Mr. Tutunjian is a member of the advisory board of Exile Literary Magazine. Throughout his exciting career, he has traveled to 85 countries on business. He is married and has 4 sons. Please join me in welcoming the remarkable Mr. Tutunjian. I will say this is a very momentous occasion for us, as Dr. Garebian, who will be presenting Mr. Tutunjian's book, is one of the greats featured in the book. So we're so pleased to welcome him back to our library. Born to an Armenian father and an Anglo-Indian mother, Keith Ղարիպեան holds a doctorate in Canadian and Commonwealth literature from Queen's University. The author of 4 chapbooks, as well as over 24 books, he is a widely published writer. His reviews and articles have appeared in over 100 newspapers, journals, magazines, and anthologies. Dr. Garebian has contributed book reviews to the prestigious World Literature Today website in the United States and the Literary Review of Canada, as well as poetry reviews to Arc Poetry Magazine and the Humber Literary Review. Now, without further ado, I invite Dr. Garebian to the podium.
I begin this way to reveal key qualities in Jirair Tutunjian: instinct for survival, ingenuity, vivid memory, and a warm appreciation for his tribe, no matter where they wander or settle, an appreciation that is fueled by his staunch refusal to submit to the toxins of history, particularly the toxins of obscene persecution, subjugation, and epical denial by criminal perpetrators. Which brings me to something we both share, as possibly with most Armenians who have never forgotten their painful history as a tribe. I refer, of course, to the historical wound that he describes in a later profile, and one caused by, quote, an often tortured history, battlefield for empires, occupation by nearby Persia and distant Rome, countless exile by Byzantium to Cyprus, Thrace, and Sicily for heresy, invasions and centuries of persecution, and finally genocide by the Ottomans. But Jirair goes a step further than I have ever done in lamenting what he calls Jermat Chat, white massacre, by which he means a huge loss of native Armenians over the past 2,000 years to a massive assimilation in disparate countries, often for the lure of financial betterment. But an even greater wound than this is the failure of ultra-nationalistic Armenians to realize that many diasporan Armenians are what Sakis Viragosyan called faithful and dedicated ambassadors of their Armenian blood and spirit in non-Armenian surroundings. It is not for nothing that Jirair describes himself as a card-carrying member of the Venerable Order of Armenian Hunters organization. These hunters don't carry guns or hunt victims, animal or human. They're a small group of around 24 members scattered around the globe. As he says, mild-mannered scholars, patriotic bookworms, assorted milk toasts, and ethnocentric busybodies who get a frisson upon unearthing the hidden Armenian identity of famous people. Although of hybrid ethnicity, I am part of his tribe. And as he reveals in the first of 2 articles on me in this book, he was the one who discovered me after he had come across a book review I published in the Globe and Mail. I don't remember the year, the review, or the book, but I do recall being invited to coffee and pastries at an Armenian restaurant near Hall Crown Place. I am guessing that the meeting was close to the time of release of my memoir, Pain, Journeys Around My Parents in 2000. It was certainly not later than 2000, which means that he and I have been friends for at least 24 years. I found Jirair to be a man of warm cordiality, generous with his time and information, and sincere about exploring my Armenian connection and promoting my work within the Armenian community. Read his new book carefully, and it is prudent to read it in installments rather than straight through because of its range. Comprised of 39 articles running from a page to 4 pages in length, and a final list of possible Armenian greats, it is, as he himself puts it, overwhelmingly about remarkable but often unsung Armenians whose Armenian identity is not known even to Armenians. Perhaps this is why you won't find profiles of Hamazkayin, Asane Kanjian, Isabel Bayrakdarian, Peter Balakian, Lon Shirinian, Lucien Kasperian, Alan Whitehorn, Peter Hunjan, and many other luminaries in this book. They are well known, and some are in fact international celebrities. Jirair elects the unsung, the lesser known. His first subject is photographer Arto Kavukia, whose process on color film baffled Kodak, Gevert, and Agfa manufacturers. This piece has the distinction of being his first journalistic class assignment in 1967. The true value of this article is the insight it provides into informal technique, how the photographer used coffee and conversation to put his subjects at ease in order to induce the right expression that could reveal the inner personality of famous people, such as Earl Mountbatten, Vladimir Ashkenazi, David Ben-Gurion, John Diefenbaker, Pierre Burton, the Shah and Empress of Iran, and the Queen Mother, who was so pleased with her portrait that she ordered it for her personal Christmas cards. So, Jirair, let us both undertake a new cultural adventure if time permits. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in applauding another great Armenian, one of my leading teachers in many things Armenian, and a sort of godfather, Jirair Tutunjian.
I've been writing them for the past 10-15 years for Keith, occasional pieces. But, and I had no intention of publishing them as a book. They were electronic version. But as you know, the last couple of years, we've had a terrible time in Armenia, in Artsakh. And it has had a negative impact on our psyche, on our mood. So many Armenians are depressed about our nation, disillusioned, and others this. And I thought, if I put this book together about Armenians not known, and let's say 1,000 people read the book, I would be maybe elevating their sense of nationhood, of being Armenian, to be proud, especially with new names. Like anytime you ask, people will cite the same names for famous Armenians. I thought these new names would enhance and elevate, or especially to young people, that we are not dead. We are still producing great people. Now, for that reason, in Los Angeles schools, 2 schools, are thinking of buying the book and using it as a textbook they will give to every student for the same reason I cited, to change the mood, to elevate their identity and positive feelings about being Armenian. So that was the reason I published it.